And really swing.
I'll say.
Me, Tarzan.
You, Tarzan. Me,
You.
Casey.
Casey Jones.
Yes.
Lunch, Casey.
These were the early days of children's TV. Simply making kids laugh would have been enough. But the late Roger Awesome and his irrepressible sidekick Len Dwyer went beyond that.
Oh, I love you, kids.
The characters they created on Channel 11, Casey Jones and Roundhouse Rodney, became icons, trusted and adored by a generation of Twin Cities tots.
He just had an amazing ability to relate directly with these kids.
Here's my boy Bobby. Hi, Bob.
Hi. Even today, every week, someone says, "Are you related to Roger Awesome? Or aren't you Roger's son?"
Bob Awesome, now a Ramsey County judge, is one of Casey's own children.
Did little Bobby Awesome in school say, "Hey, my dad's Casey"? Did that ever happen?
No, everybody else said, "Hey, his dad's Casey." And I go, "Oh, geez, here we go again."
Your attention, please. Casey Jones Express, now arriving on track 11.
Roger Awesome first pulled into our station the year we signed on, 1953.
Well, hi, gang. Your old buddy Casey Jones once again.
The kids' show that Awesome dreamed up, Lunch with Casey, debuted in 1954.
Let's do a show. Let's do a kid show. What do kids like? Kids like trains.
Well, how are you today? That's good. All set for a good lunch?
The main character was an engineer stopping for lunch, but the show, well...
'Cause I'm itching up here, scratching down there, walking in my winter underwear.
The show was more about pushing homespun, corny comedy to new heights. The sillier, the better.
Back then, that's all you could do.
Al DeRusha directed Lunch with Casey.
Fighting lions and man-eating tiger.
45 minutes of live, low-budget, seat-of-your-pants TV, 5 days a week.
It was shoot from the hip. It was live, and somebody would come up and say, "Hey, Al, I got a good idea for Casey." "Okay, what is it?" You know, and it was fun.
What signaled lunchtime was the show's filmed opening, set to Burl Ives' rendition of the old Casey Jones song.
Come all you rounders if you want to hear a story about a brave engineer. Hope.
The sequence mixed shots of Casey in the cab of a steam engine with stock footage of moving locomotives.
The way that they filmed that train with then cutting in the live trains, you watch that opening and close even now on the videotape. It was really realistic.
Are you hungry? So am I.
After that, it was back to film so Casey could climb down from the Northern Pacific engine and then walk across the rail yard, head for a roundhouse, and then seamlessly glide back into the live studio set.
Well, how are you today?
And he'd walk in there, and then we'd cut to the set in the studio. It was like just a couple of edits.
And if you've been wondering whatever became of Casey's train, so have we.
Some of you maybe remember the Casey Jones TV program. Well, this is the engine that Casey Jones used.
You'll find MP 2156 inside the historic Jackson Street Roundhouse in St. Paul, home of the Minnesota Transportation Museum.
Oh, I was on the Casey Jones show when I was a kid. In the early 60s.
Museum volunteers have stripped the 98-year-old Iron Mammoth to its bare essence in hopes of returning it to its glory days.
It pulled the North Coast Limited back and forth between here and Seattle.
They all do other things for a living, but in their spare time, they've endeavored to learn the lost art of rebuilding steam engines like old 2156.
I like big, clanky machinery. The bigger, the better.
They're here for reasons that Casey and Roundhouse Rodney would appreciate. They want to create some excitement.
When you stand next to one that's alive and chugging, it's an excitement that's hard to explain. It's all power.
There is, after all, nothing quite like a real live steam engine.
You put tingles up and down your back, and you smell the coal, and you smell the steam, and you feel the ground shake.
When they do get 2156 rolling again, it'll move more than it ever did for Casey. You see, what the kids at home couldn't tell, but what's clear from these old film outtakes, is that Casey's engine, MP 2156, was parked at the time. Not on a rail siding, but in Como Park, where it sat from 1954 to 1981. It was clever editing that made it seem Casey's train could run.
And it looked like he was getting off the train and coming into the station.
But those years sitting in the park damaged the train's steam chest, so they'll have to build a bypass to get those pistons pumping.
We can fix that problem. It's just a matter of getting the time to do it and the money.
The museum needs at least $500,000 to put the project on the fast track.
I wish they had money so that it could finish it.
Well, I was expecting a Minnesota Viking.
Well, you just got one, Buster.
Until then, his biggest fans will have their mementos.
He could play the first verse of about 100 songs.
But they say to see the machine nicknamed Casey's Train come roaring back to life would be a lasting tribute to television's most beloved engineer.
And I think he would really be happy to see how far along this is coming and how much interest there still is in finishing it up.
Oh, come on, you rounders, if you want to hear
In case you've been wondering.
A story about a brave engineer.
For the KARE 11 News Extra, I'm John Croman.
Founder's name on the 6-8 wheeler, Boise won to Spain. Your